Sid Wilson is an enigma, an entity, a spectacle. Let's talk about why. So what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? AJ Good here at the House of Masks, where we unbox and review cool stuff almost every single day. And as I just mentioned, in today's video, we are going to be talking about Sid Wilson. More specifically, we are going to be discussing why he is, has, and always will be so far ahead of the world. From the very beginning, when it was decided between both Sean and Sid that Sid would be the newest member of Slipknot, to the present day, Sid has had it all figured out. Now, originally, this video was mainly to highlight the present day Sid Wilson and his look and new accessories that we've gotten since the Dying Song debuted, but it quickly became a little passion project of mine to just talk about how cool Sid Wilson is and always has been. I just feel like the dude is an extremely underrated entity in the rock and metal world as well as the mask world. And after the last few years of Slipknot, it's become very apparent to me that Sid Wilson is that guy. I think he takes his role in Slipknot a lot more serious than others, and definitely a lot more serious than we tend to give him credit for. And not just in a sense of musicianship. All around, I think Sid Wilson is the most underrated member of Slipknot ever.
That's high praise.
So, quickly touching on how he joined the band back in the day. For those of you that don't know, roll the clip. So, I'm sitting down to edit this video right now, and I get online to download the video of Sid Wilson talking with Brass Knuckles about his initiation into the band. And I'm looking and 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 looking, and it's just nowhere to be found. And I have seen this video for years. Usually it's one of the first videos that comes up when you YouTube Sid Wilson interview, or Sid Wilson initiation, or Sid Wilson talks about joining Slipknot or whatever, but it's just gone. And I even went to some of the, Loudwire articles and stuff to see if they had linked to it, because they all covered this initiation story or whatever, and the video is just private. It's gone. I don't know why, and I don't know why now, and that sucks, but that is why. So I guess if you guys want to read how Sid joined the band, or you want to see Loudwire retell it through some cringy lady or something, you can search that. It'll come up, but yeah, can't find it. That sucks. I really enjoyed that interview and hearing Sid tell that story. So if Brass Knuckles sees this, what the man? He understood Slipknot before he was even in Slipknot, and before Slipknot was really even truly the Slipknot that we all fell in love with back in '99. And that understanding literally secured his spot in the band. And he did not slow down once he was officially in. Between Self-Titled and Iowa, Sid would prove that he was more than just the DJ of the band, but he was a character in this thing that we know and love called Slipknot. His onstage antics of flying into the crowd and crowd surfing, fighting with other members of the band as well as the audience, breaking anything that he touched, playing with fire to an almost mentally ill point, and little nuances like walking up to the crowd with the set list after the show and pointing at it like, hey, do you want this? But then crumpling it up and putting it in his pocket and flipping the crowd off to exit the stage. It's like that truly made these the golden years of Slipknot. But it wasn't just his antics and his mannerisms. Sid made it a point to always have his aesthetics and his appearance be something that we would all remember. Something that would set him apart from the rest of the band. Whether it was the fact that right off the bat he had way more masks than any other member of the band and would swap them out often, or the fact that he was the first member to really start experimenting with face paints. And I don't just mean he was the first member to wear face paint, because that's not the case. I'm saying that he would literally start doing looks underneath his masks that would really accent his entire aura. One thing is for sure, Sid was definitely going to stand out amongst the other members. Fast forward to Volume 3, and Sid has not slowed down his creative efforts. Not only had he changed his masks the most since the Self-Titled era, but he gave us a true evolution through those changes. You think, oh, gas mask in '99 and now this weird robotic skull thing in 2004? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but when you really look at how the evolution happened, it makes perfect sense. We go from gas masks with these giant holes on the face to a gas mask style skull mask that still has the giant holes on the face, right into a strange Transformer-esque robot-looking skull, and then eventually into a human skull. But not only this, he's doing weird things in between, like the death mask face rip. Sid would start each show with a latex death mask of his own face, and at some point during Sick, he would rip it off in front of the crowd, exposing his skull mask. The first time that I ever saw this, I knew that I would never forget it, and it still burned into my brain as one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Next album. All Hope Is Gone. Sid continues to push the envelope by being the first member of the band to do two very particular and important things that we had never seen in Slipknot before. Not only would Sid continue his natural evolution in masks by going full on robot, like he is literally Optimus Sid at this point, but he would go all in with this robot theme by going full on lights and animatronics with this set of masks. That is the first time we had ever seen either of those things brought into the mask aspect of Slipknot. It's clear at this point that Sid just wants to be the best Sid that he can be. Gray Chapter. We go back to the gas mask feel that Sid had had back in 99 to 2002, but with a very clean and classy modern take as given to us by Bob Bassett, who was making Sid's masks for this era. These Gray Chapter masks had just kind of combined everything that we had seen from Sid so far. They had a very robotic feel, they had a very gas mask feel, but they also felt pretty new as they had brought in a steampunk element that we hadn't quite seen yet. Moving on to the last album, We Are Not Your Kind, and Sid drops one of the creepiest looks we have ever seen with his full-on animatronic death mask. This thing has such an uncanny valley feel to it and continues to perfectly tell the story that Sid has been telling with his mask evolution over the years. Sid is and always has been a robot trying to be Sid. It's this back and forth between human and robot, and I think that it's amazing. And this mask said it all. Or so we thought, because now the Dying Song has debuted, we've seen a few new Sid masks from this new era, and that's given us 3 looks so far, all of which are robotic looks with some crazy going on around them, such as the robot hands that we made a video on not too long ago, or Sid holding his own animatronic severed head that is singing along to Corey Taylor during the live shows. Not only is Sid still incorporating weird little things into his aesthetic in his live performances, like this weird ass hologram that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I don't know how it works, but I absolutely love it. But he's still doing things that take us back to the roots of Slipknot and their masks specifically. These robot hands are just off-the-shelf kids' toys that you can build at home. Part of his new Bob Bassett undermask is just a mask that you can find on Amazon. And all of this time, I've just been talking about Sid's looks, his aesthetic, his stage presence. I haven't even touched on his musicianship. That's something for a more music-oriented channel to cover, but I will say this, could you honestly imagine listening to a Slipknot record that didn't have any of Sid's noise manipulation or samples or scratching? That is a Slipknot record that I don't want to hear. The point is, Sid is the man, and whether you personally love or dislike any of the looks that I've talked about here, you really can't deny that Sid has been pushing the envelope the entire time that he's been in Slipknot. That's just undeniable. So on behalf of maggots all around the world, Sid, thank you very, very much. We cannot wait to see what else you've got up your sleeve, and I hope that this video does you just a little bit of justice in what you are trying to do and what you are presenting us with in Slipknot. So that is going to be it for me here today. Thank you guys very, very much for watching. I really hope that you have enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and leave a thumbs up down below. I would appreciate that, and maybe even comment. Here, I'll even make the comment part easy for you. What is your all-time favorite Sid Wilson Slipknot moment? Let me know down below in the comments. I am looking forward to seeing everyone's answers. And until next time, this has been AJ Good here at the House of Masks telling you to say no to drugs and alcohol and yes to Sid Wilson. And we'll see you guys in the next one.